And we are back once again. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to HiddenTV.fm, your news time after dark for all those hungry K-Nights and Quinnet out there. Once again, the question is, what does the dark night out there bring us in news and whispers? No clue? No problem. We got you covered.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
Tonight's menu. The Buha Wave, somewhere between techno beats and death threats. Leaflets on the wise, an open letter to the Camarilla, and a late night with Simon. You know you can't look away. So let's not waste any time and dive right in. Nothing is safe, nothing lasts forever. Hidden TV is live. At the end of the last month, the Buha of Westfalen-Lippe threw what they promised would be 2 nights of debate, dancing, and maybe some diplomacy. Instead, Friday night turned into a storm of accusation, fiery speeches, and more smoke than the wave floor could ever provide. Let's see it.
Susie Sock opened the floor. No warm-up, straight to blood and blame. She questioned why Archidon summoned a council of neonates right before the Diablerie scandal and accused both him and Istis of manipulating events behind the scenes. According to her, they fed the Justicar's corpse, seduced Bremen into Diablerie, lured East Frisia to act as witness, and even pulled strings to make Kate Ashford vanish after Brooke's death. Susie's conclusion was clear. The Malkavian elder Istis must be destroyed. Her words were met with applause from Bruges supporters. Next, Liv Kusenhart, the Bruges sovereign, took the stage with a different tone. She described the current nights as a chess game of elders, with neonates forced into the role of expendable pawns. Power without oversight, she warned, always ends in tyranny. Her demand, a true system of justice within the Camarilla, one that even elders must respect. And her candidate to enforce it, Carnifex, a judge, not another tyrant. Where Susie offered fury, Liv offered vision. One called for blood, the other for order. Both made it clear. The Camarilla stands at a crossroads and silence is no longer an option.
Overall, the first half of the night carried a charged and more restless mood. Arguments flew, at first aimed at Archidon and Aestus, but soon circling more and more around Aestus. Yet, when pressed for proof or cornered in a private conversation, the fire lost much of its heat. Bold claims became shaky reasoning, and the noise began to sound more and more like speculation than certainty. I mean, if you ask me, it was a funny night. People were dancing, blood was served, people were fighting. So after all, a good fucking wave, man. Once again, whispers reach us from the shadows. This time from the domain of Turing from this year's Summerfest. In the form of a mysterious leaflet circulating under the name The Red Rose. Its content, well, more like explosive accusation, aimed directly at Archidon and who have thought Aestus.
According to the pamphlet, last year's gathering in Mullenbeek, where Archidon called together a council of neonates, was nothing less than a stage trial designed to condemn certain persons. The jurors, however, refused to play along. They demanded evidence, not blind judgment. What they found only deepened the mystery. Testimonies claimed that Ariston was already bloodless when handed over to the Malkavians, that the so-called Diablerie might have been prepared in advance, that the Malkavian elders worked hand in hand, pulling strings to silence critical voices within the Camarilla. Even Lydia Albertoni's name is mentioned as a target in this alleged conspiracy. The leaflet paints a picture of manipulation and fear, elders staging crimes, planning scapegoats, and bending justice to their will. The jurors, instead of condemning, turn the spotlight back on the elder themselves. The red rose ends with a challenge. Where is the truth? Who still dares to speak it? And it promises, in Molenbeek, answers will be demanded.
Baby, let's go!
I mean, if you ask me, yes, we need action. But another piece of paper with just accusations on it will bring us not forward. What we need on the big gathering at Molenbeek is a how. How are we gonna solve this? What are we willing to sacrifice to achieve this so-called truth? But I mean, it's just my humble opinion. But as always, you can find the full statement under hiddenxtv@gmail.com. Ask us and we will send it to you.
Chapter systems are offline.
Number one for today's hits and all-time favorites.
Hey there, it's your favorite sewer rat, and you're about to listen to one of my newest songs. I hope you enjoy. Rooms full of bloodsuckers will always play this game. Living at the top, you don't hear those below, but it is whispers all around, moving through the shadows. Is the system broken? Do you know what to do? Isn't broken. It has always been this way. Rooms full of bloodsuckers will always play this game, designed for suppression. The ones at the top, it's been the same old story. They fear denied it stops. Our system isn't broken. It has always been this way. Rooms full of bloodsuckers will always play this game. It's time to face the music. It's time to play for your life. Dance to rules unspoken. And I'll see you there tonight.
Today's young people find it fascinating to dabble in the supernatural.
How would you feel about driving a wooden stake through somebody's heart? Because I think you and I are going to have to kill Count Yorga. It's conceivable that Paul and Erica might have turned into vampires. That's true, we'll have to kill them too.
Count Yorga Vampire is a horror-haunting tale of today that could happen to you. Count Yorga Vampire is not of the past, it is now. See Count Yorga Vampire, rated GP, parental guidance suggested.
You are searching for the next kick? Your blood supply isn't the right thing anymore? No problem. Rat-Face Blood Service will bring you all the taste you need.
Dear Canaanites, tonight I speak to you because silence would only feed superstition and discord, especially in these times. As some of your listeners out there might know, my very persona is not allowed in some parts of the Camarilla. Some due to my actions, some do for what I stand and what I represent. However, with the upcoming Camarilla gathering and the bigger political events, it's not the time for personal problems. So, mistakes were made in the dealing between myself and the domain of Bohem in the north of Germany. I will not deny my part in this. Words spoken in anger, choices made too hastily. They have caused wounds that I still felt, and they will never fully close. For this I take responsibility. Others played their part, and the consequences arose from more than a single voice. However, I'm the last one left to tell the tale. But what matters now is not the tally of blame, but how we move forward. And we need to move forward. A simple apology cannot erase what has happened. Yet it can mark the point where one decides to act differently. And that is what I offer. It's no longer enough to dwell on accusations and anger. What matters now is whether our actions build unity where discord has taken root. I will reach out my hand to the domain of Bohem for what I and only I have done, and bend the knee as I am a servant of the traditions. The nights ahead will test all of us. Unity will matter more than pride, more than problems. I do not claim perfection, only the will to stand, to act, and to contribute to the strength of our society, rather than its division.
We will rise again. We will rise again.
Your systems are offline.
Well, folks, and that brings our news time for tonight to an end. Don't forget the upcoming big event in the domain of Bohem. And as usual, if you want to contribute or have something to add for our show, reach us under hiddenxtv@gmail.com.